guys, and welcome to our review for High Life, directed by Claire Denis, starring Robert Pattinson, Juliette Binoche, Mia Goth, Andre 3000. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Adam Franey.
Hi guys, High Life.
High Life.
Hi Scott.
I don't have my Miller High Life here, but I already drank it. Sorry.
Hi,
But High Life is a story of a father and his daughter's struggle to survive in deep space where they live in isolation. Is that spoilery?
I was going to say.
It's not. The movie starts out with that, let's be honest.
Do we know who she is to him?
I guess not.
I guess we do now. If that's the synopsis.
But High Life is the English language debut of Claire Denis, well-known French director. First time she's sort of delved into sci-fi as well. So it's a lot of firsts for her. First time doing English, first time doing a space movie. But yeah, High Life. Adam, what do you think of High Life? I mean, people are loving it.
It's good beer. The champagne of beers.
Yeah, the champagne of beers, yeah.
Right? Was this the champagne of film, though? People are loving it.
They are.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those people.
No?
No.
It's currently sitting at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. People are applauding her skill.
Her what?
Her skill.
Really?
In creating this film.
I thought it was well created.
Interesting.
It goes some very interesting places. I'm not too sure how I feel about the High Life.
Was it the fuck box?
The fuck box was fucky. Juliette really
she gave it her all in fuck box.
Yeah, she did. I can see why they call it that. Robert Pattinson I thought was great. Love what he's doing, love the roles he's choosing.
He was excellent.
Uglying himself up, you know.
He's going for these indies.
Losing weight, doing different hairstyles, all different kinds of shit. Love what he's doing. The baby was adorable. Great performance. Andre 3000. What the fuck? Can't get a solo album out of him for like 15 years, but he just does movies now, I guess. Does bit roles in like
I thought he was good.
Movies. He was good.
Is that weird? Is that
No. he was fine.
He was good. I want more. I mean.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I want music too though. But that was my initial reaction.
Where's the new album, bud?
Yeah,
Why are you doing this?
I'm like, did he do
He's probably
soundtrack?
spent 1 week on this movie, so
right. I like the simplistic, subtle sci-fi like space stuff. I love that in like these low budget sci-fi movies where it's not this like bombastic like Star Wars level, like Star Trek level stuff.
You get these long shots of like a spaceship flying. You don't really get that.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that in this movie briefly.
Right.
But not gratuitously.
Right. Good word. Like there's no,
subtle. Like
the tropes aren't really there as much. Like anytime he just like would slide open the spaceship door and there'd just be the abyss. I love that.
It looked like it was just a fucking black sheet.
Yeah. But it like worked. And if he's like throwing something out into the abyss, how they would just like float off the ledge.
That's not really.
Yeah,
I had the opposite because it looked like, for example, he's throwing some objects out of the door,
right,
and they're falling.
Right.
Like there was gravity, but there shouldn't be.
I did.
It was weird.
I did think of that.
It was a little weird.
I was like, "What the fuck?
Why are they falling down? They should be just doing this, right?"
Yeah, that's instantly what
the
I
objects.
thought of.
I mean,
The objects. I was wondering, like, is it because everyone on board here is like mentally unstable? Like, is he imagining this?
Right.
Is this some sort of like non-literal thing? Like, what is happening here?
I guess I should explain a bit of the more preface of the film. So essentially, the crew of this spaceship is comprised of death row inmates who are, I assume, forcibly signed up in this program.
Guinea pigs.
Essentially, yeah. On this suicide mission that they won't really return from. that's going to take them many years to travel to the edge of a black hole to do some tests, some experiments or something. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's essentially why the crew is on this ship.
Right.
And because they're criminals, I mean, they sort of get up to some stuff. But yeah, so overall you didn't really like it? You weren't digging it, or you thought it was fine?
I thought it was fine. That's not to say that it was boring and didn't affect me, because it definitely affected me, but some of the stuff was negative, like some gratuitous violence and stuff like that, like toward the women characters. I know it's a woman director, but like it was just gross, like the rape and stuff like that was just like not well done. It was just like, it was too, I don't know, gratuitous. It was almost like, yeah, like let's just go like brutal for the sake of brutality, like Robert Pattinson hauling off and just like right hooking girls across the face. I'm just like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Considering most of the movie is very slow paced, or like,
yeah,
and it's very different tone, and then it just sort of flips a switch, and then it's to this extreme violence.
But it was like unearned.
Right.
It wasn't like cool or something like.
Or like there was a build up. Really, it was just.
Yeah, it didn't feel useful. Like it didn't feel like the violence was like needed. It just felt like, oh, let's throw this in just to be brutal, and we're gonna shock people. I don't like that. Like the fuck box, very shocking. Don't know if we really needed that to see what goes into the fuck box.
Essentially, there's this room where so Juliette Binoche's character is trying to inseminate the female crew members, essentially, but they've made sex off limits. Did I remember that correctly? Mm-hmm. So the only way for them to like actually get off is there's this room where essentially the crew can masturbate.
Right.
And Juliette Binoche, there's this extended sequence where she goes into the fuck box and masturbates vigorously.
Red lighting.
For like red lining, you mean?
No, like the lighting is red.
Oh, right. She's fucking redlining too. But it's extended, and I honestly chuckled, like,
yeah,
it didn't have the effect it should.
Like it was like laughable.
Yeah.
And like her like getting the like semen and like walking with it across the room in her hands at that point in the film was just like, there's so much stuff in here that's just like gross. I'm like, did a fucking 14-year-old make this movie?
Right.
Little did I know it was an elderly woman. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know, I liked the art and the craft of it, but it was just overkill with like the violence and like trying to be gross, trying to be shocking and stuff. I like the story though, and the cinematography and all of that. Almost no score. It was very
quiet. Very quiet.
Much like
film.
space itself.
Yes.
Liked where the ending went though. I thought the ending was awesome.
Right. I like that as well.
Yeah, flashes of other sci-fi movies.
Yeah, I think I agree to most things there. Visually interesting. Right. It did have this interesting aesthetics, like low budget aesthetic. Like it felt like almost like a student film sometimes.
Yeah.
Or like I wonder, like, is the shot of the spaceship, like, is that a cardboard box?
Yeah.
like hanging from a string?
I don't know if they're like trying to do that. Do you think they were like going for that?
I don't know.
Even like the internal stuff, like would just be like a screen with like red and green lights going off. Like,
well, I think maybe the big thing for me was that made me give me that feel was the like captain's booth or like office and stuff. In most sci-fi films, it's like some elaborate panel system, like it's you're in Houston, at the like NASA station. There's all these built-in screens and stuff like that, like you're in an alien movie or something on the Nostromo. But in this film is like a desk with like a monitor screen sitting on it and a keyboard. Right. And it just felt, it didn't feel sci-fi to me.
I was like, what?
It felt a bit odd, like it felt a bit low budget, and it kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if it's like Moon or something, or
that's immediately what I thought.
Or you know, any other movie, any other sci-fi film, basically, that's set in space. You know, even like, I don't know, Cloverfield Paradox, whatever it is, right? You know, the built-ins of the spaceship or the space station or whatever it is gives it that authenticity, that feel, right? And this didn't quite have that. And even the spacesuits, I'm like, that's like a little cloth suit. Like, there's no bulk to it. It didn't.
I almost think it must be by design. Like, there's no way
so. It's gotta be.
That the budget is so low that you'd notice these like budgetary constraints. Is there?
Like for example, I mean, we saw First Man during TIFF as well.
Yeah.
When you look at the NASA spacesuits, and they have like a, you know, like almost like a ski mask type thing underneath the helmet. Like, there's all these different layers to it. I feel like in High Life, it was just a fucking dome of glass.
Yeah, there's
and that was it.
Like, and then they're ready to go.
Yeah.
It's just like a cloth jumpsuit with a glass dome.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, it was all very
fair
simplistic.
Though? I don't know.
It's
definitely it's an observation.
Right?
Yeah. It didn't necessarily negatively affect me too much. It just kind of slightly took me out of it. Mm-hmm. I did like a lot of sci-fi aspects to it. There's, for example, this sort of thing where the pilot or a captain or whoever's in charge has this little pin in their, not a pin, but like a little chip in their fingertip that allows them to give the like captain's log, and essentially they have to say everything's A-okay, and then they get life support extended for another 24 hours.
Right.
I thought that was kind of interesting because they're like convicts, right?
Right.
So like they got to explain that everything's okay, or else they're just gonna shut the lights off, basically. And I thought that was kind of a cool.
Just air, bye bye.
That's just a very sci-fi thing. I feel like,
and I love the garden set. I thought that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Like, I would live in there, much like Robert Pattinson does, or Andre 3000 does.
Speaking of Pattinson, I thought he was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely carried it for me.
Yeah.
I just think he's great. It's so bizarre thinking that's what's his name from Twilight, but.
Never said it. Not just a pretty face.
But, I mean, I think he's, fully transitioned into full cinephile mode.
Yeah.
I mean,
just hunting down auteurs.
He's the one seeking out these auteur directors, and not the other way around. I think that's such a cool way of doing it.
Right.
But yeah, as far as the film itself goes, overall, I haven't really said what I feel about it. I didn't love it. It kind of dragged.
But you have to. Everyone loved it.
I don't understand that.
93%. I'm like, are you fucked? And then when I saw A24 picked it up, I was like, what? Like, what? Am I missing something?
Yeah,
like,
I feel like I'm missing something.
Do I need to see it again? Like, I don't understand. It's not great.
I feel like if it was more focused on Pattinson and Baby, like more about that journey,
like Moon or something, I'd rather have it just been like solo.
Or like what was that movie with Vigo where it's like apocalyptic?
The Road.
If it was like The Road or something,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, the baby's like growing up, or like, you know what I mean? Like it was more focused on that relationship.
Jump like a few years
instead of, what we got.
Just got like the beginning of him and the baby's relationship, and then
it flashes back to
all flashbacks.
A lot of flashback.
I
guess the beginning was a flash forward,
which like didn't really care like
about the other people.
No, I would rather have just not even known why he was up there, or like allude to it with dialogue.
They could have had a flash, do the other, flip the format, right? Have a flashback of what happened before, and then continue with the story with the kid more.
Right. Yeah.
I think that would have been more effective. But again, I'm not Claire Denis. I'm not the legend, right?
Right. You're not?
I thought Mia Goth was fine. She was the other girl. She acts crazy very well.
She was fine.
Yeah.
Julia
I thought
Binoche
everyone was fine.
Yeah.
Just some of the other characters a little bit forgettable. again, we just don't necessarily need to know about their characters. That's what I mean. Like,
the most interesting part to me was like the first and third act,
right?
Like the beginning and the end. I didn't care about all these other cast of characters.
Definitely. And like when there's like another ship and stuff like that. I don't know if you want to get into it, but
yeah,
that whole thing.
I didn't even understand the purpose. I was like, what? Like I was excited. I was like, oh, there's some sort of like conflict.
There's some new thing happening here.
You're right, a new fold.
But nothing really came of it.
Fuck?
Yeah, it was just weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of, you can sort of tell that she didn't really look at sci-fi movies as inspiration, right?
No,
absolutely. We're coming at it from an angle of having seen a bunch of sci-fi movies in space, and
my first Claire Denis movie.
The same.
Yeah.
But we're coming in from a certain point of view, and we're sort of expecting these certain tropes, and we would have done something more straightforward maybe. But she wasn't feeling that. She wanted to do her own thing, which is fine. But yeah, for me, just as a result of that, it didn't quite hit for me.
Yeah, I gotta read some reviews and see what we're missing.
Yeah. Should we give our review or rating then?
All right.
I'm gonna give it a
0?
A 3. It's like a low 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't less than that, but
no, like I've seen some real trash. So I can't give this like a 2 or a 1.
Yeah.
At all. Like it's still, like it still looked good, sounded good. Robert Pattinson, I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
And again, I like the story, like the beginning and the end. I was much more interested in him and the baby.
It's kind of disappointing for me because I was, I went to this film knowing nothing. Right? What was your anticipation level for this film? Like mine was like off the charts.
Yeah, all we had seen was a picture of Robert Pattinson in a spacesuit, and I was like,
"That's all I need to know."
I'm in.
And it kind of got weird.
Yeah, I feel like she just made her own weird little movie that happened to be in space.
Right.
Right? Like, and I was just expecting the emphasis to be on the space side rather than on the...
It's like someone dared her to make a space movie or something.
Right.
Like, I bet you can't make a space movie. You're so used to doing these, like, personal dramas and stuff.
I don't think she cared to make one.
Right.
Like, with the bodies not floating and, like, that little... like set of just like lights going off. It just like looked fake.
Yeah.
It was like she just didn't care the spacesuits.
She didn't want to go the full extent that you would normally have to go.
No. She didn't go full like Alien or something.
No, she did a
half-assed.
I don't want to say it. She did a half-assed sci-fi.
Yeah. Sick.
But yeah, is there anything spoilery you want to discuss?
The ending, I guess.
Well, fair warning, if you haven't seen High Life, we're going to be discussing some spoilery aspects, so you've been warned. So, Adam, the end.
I liked it. They go through the black hole, the wormhole, if you will. I liked...
And they get fucked up.
Yeah, do they? I don't know.
I mean...
Isn't it ambiguous? Do they get fucked up? I don't know.
I mean, look at Mia Goth's character. She gets fucked up.
Got crunched.
She got fucked.
Yeah, she tried to ride it out.
She couldn't.
But I don't know. Maybe they get frozen in time.
Maybe.
Forever, him and his daughter.
It's an interesting existential question.
A little bit Interstellar-esque.
Quite.
Some Interstellar vibes.
Yeah.
Right?
Flying into the
Coop
black hole.
and Murph.
Yeah.
Going straight for that black hole. But yeah, I don't know. I liked the idea that he can just be at peace with his daughter forever in this, in this state of nothing, but which is what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from his violent past and everything, he killed somebody who killed his dog, and he had this terrible life, no parents. And she talked about it after the movie, that he had this character arc where he was this transformed person, and he, against his will, raised this daughter to be, a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could have just went through and both got crunched.
It's possible.
Simultaneously.
I guess she left it intentionally ambiguous there, right?
Right.
What'd you think about the weird incest thing? Should we talk about that? Yeah, we should talk about that. What do you think about that whole aspect? I think she said there was a version of the film where they literally banged.
Yeah.
His daughter and him.
Not too crazy about that.
Yeah.
Alternative ending. I like the very normal, like them just being together as a father and daughter. Right. She's like, yeah, like, you know, if you're not in time or space, if you're just in this black hole, like, who's to say what love is? They could have like been together, like as lovers and as father and daughter.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, there.
Like, whoa.
Let's pump the brakes. I liked where you're going until that. Yeah. So yeah, I choose to not.
There was a scene in the film where she was like sleeping on him, and it was a little bit weird.
Yeah, like because it doesn't. A little bit weird. I thought it was a flashback to a girl that he had.
Because that's the first time you see that she's like grown up or whatever.
Right.
And you don't know if that's
explanation.
Is that a flashback? Is that present? Is that future? When is this?
And I'm like, oh,
who is this actress? Like, I haven't seen her yet.
Yeah, I thought it was an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then you slowly realize it's the daughter grown up. And I'm like, oh, it's a flash forward. Oh, that's bizarre.
That got weird.
What the fuck? But, yeah, he was abstinent. He didn't use the
He
pop
was,
box, so.
But somehow, well, he got raped basically by Juliette Binoche.
She extracted,
and she
that
took the nougat, the sweet nectar of Robert Pattinson.
and Claire Denis wanted to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, against his will, and that's how he had his daughter. Basically, it was not his choice, but. I don't have much else to talk about spoiler wise.
No, go see it. It was a nice yellow color they came up with for the black hole. That beam of yellow.
Right.
I thought the color was
pretty cool.
Very cool.
Pretty interesting look. Check it out whenever it comes into theaters or whenever it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know when it comes out.
We'll find out. A24.
But yeah, A24 picked it up, so you'll see it at some point. Probably limited, but yeah. Adam, where can people find you?
On Twitter at Franny25 and on Instagram and Letterboxd at UprealAdam.
You can find us as well on Twitter, Facebook at UprealLate. Twitter? Instagram.
Both.
UprealLate.
All the social medias.
You know, as well, you can follow myself on Letterboxd at UprealScott. As well, if you do like this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, keep it real.